What's up YouTube, HeyC494 here, and I am at the range doing load development. Surprise, surprise. I often get asked why I am forever doing load development. And the reason why is every single time you change one thing with your load, it's going to make a difference. It might make a drastic difference, it might make a minuscule difference. So every time I change something, whether it be a primer, the type of brass I'm using, the powder especially, anytime I change something with my precision rifle load, I make sure to test it until I figure out where I need to stay with that. So what I've just recently changed is I started annealing my brass using the Annealy's annealer, and I'm about to find out if my same loads still work or if I need to change the load a little bit. So you guys are going to be here for that. I'm still going to be using 22.6 grains of AR comp, but I'm also using 22.8 and 23. I don't suggest anybody use those loads because those are above published maximums. Anyway, about to shoot these things. Stand by. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot known ammo through the gun. So I actually know that this ammo typically shoots between 1 and 1 1/4 MOA out of this gun. I'm going to shoot 3 rounds of this, both to warm up the shooter and the gun before I start shooting the ammo that I loaded up for my load development today. Ears are handy.
Keep it running.
Yeah, because I'll edit the video like longer and shorter and such. Alright, so that was about a 1 1/4, something like that. Probably less. I usually give myself a little bit on those. That was target number 8. And my point of impact was a little bit high. I'm saving this brass because it's the same kind that I'm using for my loads. This is IMI brass, a CCI number 400 primer, 22.6 grains of AR comp powder, a 75 grain Hornady boat tail hollow point, loaded at 2.26 inches with medium crimp. So I'm going to shoot these and see how these do. These are the ones that I normally shoot out of it. Like I said, the only thing that I've changed from this batch to the other ones is I started annealing my brass using the Annealy's. So, let's see how this does. If it works well, this is what I'm going to be shooting in competitions. All but that last one looked really good. That last one was a little bit low right. Alright, so now I know that this shoots about 1 MOA, which is what I expect out of this. I'm going to save 5 for velocity testing. So I'll shoot these other 5 and I'll get the velocities off of them so that then I can track that. But I'm also going to shoot it at 22.8 and 23, and I'm going to run the same tests with all of these and figure out what gives me the best standard deviation, the best velocity, and the best group size. So stand by. You'll see the end results. One more thing, I'm also going to be shooting 77 grain Magtech and trying that out just to see if there's a factory ammo I can fall back on, and 75 grain Frontier. So yeah, and I'll let you guys know the results of all of that. Okay, so I realized this after I left the range. I was not using CCI number 400 primers for my 5.56 loads. I was using CCI 400 for my 6.5 Grendel loads. So yeah, I was using Winchester primers before, and I think I got way better shot groups out of the Winchester primers. So I have to go do these tests again. I still got good data out of it, and one of the things that it was the same for 6.5 Grendel is I get better standard deviations out of CCI primers than Winchester primers, and that's been consistent, and it showed here today or that day as well. So anyway, all right. So the first couple shots that I shot just to make sure that the gun was still zeroed ish and such was with the IMI, and I fired 3 shots of IMI, and it was a 1.1 inch group. I said it was going to be close to about 1 1/4, so it was a 1.1 inch group with 3 shots. And then I actually chronoed that ammo later, and out of my 3 shots, my average was 28.60. That is smoking for a 77 grain Sierra Match King. That gets me excited. Anyway, like that's the ammo that I used in the Bushnell Elite Tactical Sniper Challenge. And if I had more of it, I would probably shoot it in every sniper match ever. Like, it seems like every time I shoot that IMI, like the results, like this is from the bolt action versus gas gun, it's always like 2867, 2864, 2830, 28 whatever, 2900, 2904. That was a different lot. This was actually the 258 lot. But I've got 2 other lots that are pushing like 2,900 feet per second with a 77 grain Sierra Match King. It's that ammo is phenomenal. I tell people to stock up on that shit because it is dope. Anyway, sorry for cussing. Anyway, all right. So with my 22.6 grains of AR comp, this was the result. After I got the gun hot, I shot 2 more rounds. So I shot 5 on camera, and then I ended up shooting 2 more later on once the gun got hot, because in competition, your gun's going to be hot. So I'll shoot a regular group, but then I'll shoot it whenever the gun's hot as well to see if I have anything crazy happen. And I did. At 22.6, I had one go like ape. It just went ham sandwich. But the bulk of the group, the other 6 shots, went a 1.65, which is okay. Before I shot those last 2, my group was these right here. So it was about a one inch group before I shot those last 2. Once the gun got hot, my last 2 shots were this one and this one. So it opened up the group pretty substantially whenever the gun got warm. But anyway, my velocities for that was 2702, 2731, and 2706 out of the 3 shots that I fired out of it. And I mean that's okay. That's 2,700 feet per second has been pretty much the standard for my hand loads for that and everything. So, all right, let's go back to the 22.8. All 7 shots that I fired out of it went into a 1.4 inch group, which is awesome. My velocities were 2701, 2700, and 2702. So, literally had 2 feet per second difference between those 3 shots. That I chronoed, and the group is a 1.4. I've won matches with 2 MO8 guns, so that's probably going to be what I start loading up as 22.8 if I continue to use the CCI primers. If I go back to Winchester primers, I already know that this is my load, and I already know that it shoots better than that with the other. So anyway, at 23, all of my group was actually really good for my first 5. This was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 right there was my first 5-shot group out of that. So it was actually, a phenomenal group. And then after the gun got hot, I sent one up here and one down here. And whenever that happened, it was turned my group into a 2.4 inch group. And without it, it's still a 1.15, which is still a very respectable group. So I know a lot of you are probably thinking, well, then why don't you just use that instead of that? And I mean, I might, but I started getting more pressure signs. I was getting ejector swipes and stuff. Anyway, I need to speed this up. My velocities for that was 2744, 2753, 2752. Isn't that crazy? 0.2 of a grain pushes me up like 50 feet per second. That's insane. It's crazy how that works. Anyway, the MagTech, I shot a 5-shot group with it. I wasn't very impressed. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, wasn't very impressed with the MagTech. So I'll probably end up using that for like, defense ammo because I like what the 77 grain Sierra Match King does terminally from the testing that I've done. And then the Frontier ammunition also shot like hot garbage, so I will not be using that either. If I could get this kind of velocity out of this, that would be awesome, but I don't see that happening. I don't have any problem running, something that runs about this speed, 2700, for most of the matches that I'm running a 5.56 gas gun with in. Because if you're running a 5.56 gas gun, you're probably either shooting a designated marksman match or you're a secondary shooter. If I was shooting primary, I wouldn't be shooting 5.56. Anyway, Hayseed 494 out.